So New Year, people. 2016 is. I hope you all had a very happy New Year. I hope you didn't party too hard and get drunk and end up in a ditch somewhere. Hope that didn't happen to you. Starting off this year on a good note, gonna talk about the best of the best. We're only needing the best of the best of the best. There's a Men in Black reference for those of you who don't know that. Yeah, the best of 2015. This is going to be my personal favorite list now. I will tell you right now, I did not see every movie. I didn't even see this one, Ex Machina. I have no fucking clue if it'll be the best movie I've ever seen, and it's not on my list. Hateful Eight, bunch of other movies I didn't get to see. My list, though, it's all subjective. If your favorite is not on here, my apologies, but feel free to list your favorite below in the comments if you'd like. But I will get down to it with some honorable mentions, and then we'll get to it.
Alrighty, first up we have Creed, the Sylvester Stallone performance that, well, really wowed. And then we also have Unfriended, surprisingly good thriller little movie right here. Next up we have Crimson Peak. Guillermo del Toro needs to do a Haunted Mansion movie by now. Jurassic World, over the top fun. It was good to see dinosaurs again on screen, that's for sure. Justice League Gods and Monsters, Bruce Timm at the helm once again, making animated films for DC. Awesome. The Duff, an underrated little comedy in the vein of Mean Girls, Mae Whitman shines, and a just great cast overall as well. The Night Before, talked about this in a review already, as well as Krampus, which is my next honorable mention. Both good Christmas movies, different in their own right. If you want to check that review out for my Christmas special I just did, check it out. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, really solid action film. Rebecca Ferguson, awesome stand-up performance. And Spectre, yeah, good stuff. Wish it could have been a little bit better, but overall, really good. Alrighty, diving into my number 10 pick is Salma Hayek's Everly, directed by Joe Lynch. This was borderline just a direct to DVD movie that came out this year, and I got no words other than the fact that it ended up on my top 10 list. Yes, I do have a soft spot for Salma Hayek. Yes, huge crush on her, but besides the fact though, down to serious business here to actually explain myself, I guess, with this choice in my top 10 list. Just to make my case here, Salma Hayek was portrayed as a badass. You see the photo right here that I got, the still shot from the film itself. For such a B movie type feel that this has, I couldn't believe in how decent it was. Not only just to be that good, but to be good enough on my top 10 list. I know, I've already stated, there's just many movies that we all just have personal situations with, or we just feel like we give some leeway to, and it's not just that, but Salma Hayek's performance in this, arguably her best in quite some time. I couldn't fathom the fact is that for such a small movie and for her to deliver such a badass performance, but for those smaller moments in this film, the heart wrenching moments, even her compassion shined through those very gentle, quiet moments that she can do in various comedy drama movies that she's done before, or drama movies in general. It was heart wrenching to watch, and but the brutality that she fought through due to being in the wrong place at the wrong time, it just makes this movie all the more special. Just the fact is that she was able to pull off such a damn good performance in a B movie of all things, that this is what it's trying to be, is from what I can feel from the tone. It's got very gritty action, violent moments, but at the same time very heartfelt and just great moments from Selma Hayek's performance. Number 9 on my list is Sicario. I all I can say is the grittiness and violent perspective that is shown here through the borderlines of Mexico and everything else that happens down there, the insanity that is true down there. It's unfortunate that it does, but man, I haven't seen a movie that realistic in quite some time, showcasing that unfortunate side to the borders. And this movie delivered that rawness, that grittiness, and everything else you could want from it, as well as performance. Right off the bat, Emily Blunt. Gotta just say, I hope she gets an Oscar nomination for this movie. I'm not even really focusing on the Oscars very much anymore, but my God, that just the fact is that her character just gets swooped right into this insanity, and the fact that she's trying to deal with it, trying to deal with the mission that's in hand between Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro's character, just again, her performance was arguably could be argued as the best, but one thing is for certain. Benicio del Toro almost stole the show from her. Halfway through the film, or a little bit less than halfway, I can't quite remember. He's just borderline steal the show. It revolves around his character as well. This film, both Emily Blunt and his character's paths are crossing through this mission between them and Josh Brolin that they have to deal with due to the Borderlands stuff. It's I will not want to spoil anything for you here, but again, if you enjoyed Prisoners, I would highly recommend this film. Number 8 on my list is Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. When I have fun in the theater, I have fun in the theater, and this movie was nothing but fun. It's basically any teen raunchy comedy meets any form of zombie film, and you got yourself this movie. It's one fun moment after another, and yes, the humor is a bit juvenile. Again, it's very much a teen raunchy comedy, but man, when those jokes hit, they hit well. As far as I can tell, all the young actors here, they had great chemistry, and they do seem like they're actually teenagers in real life from what I could tell. But they had great chemistry on screen. You believe they were friends, and due to the fallout they have in the film, especially being Boy Scouts being the main issue here, being teased and targeted and bullied and wanting to do other things with their lives before college, it's an interesting kind of Goonies feel to it, if I may say that. And the actress is also really great here as well. But either way, she had great chemistry with the main cast of the three guys there, and just them up against fighting zombies and all the craziness that goes on here. And oh yes, zombie cats. Never seen that before. I'm just saying. I don't see many zombie films, but I thought that was hilarious. And going from zombie comedy, we go to just a bit of a dark comedy. Honestly, it's a psychological dark comedy. The Voices at my number 7 spot, starring Ryan Reynolds, and arguably one of the most unique roles he's ever done. It is very interesting as to how this movie ended up by the and by that I mean it's just tragic, but at the same time it's funny, but at the same time it's just one of those situations I can't quite describe, especially because I don't want to spoil the film for you. Basically, you have Ryan Reynolds, who is unfortunately diagnosed with schizophrenia. He is dealing with literal voices in his head. He also voices the cat and dog, as you see in that photo there. He voices those same characters. His voice is fighting in his head, telling him to murder people and to do terrible things that he does not want to do as himself, but he feels just obligated to do so. He just listens to them eventually when he just gives up on trying to have a normal life and just, well, yeah. But he doesn't quite play it up in a sense of like he's got to murder people all the time. He feels like he's tortured by it. And again, that's where some of the tragedy comes from. And Ryan Reynolds plays that so subtly well in this film. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, I don't know how else to describe it because I haven't quite seen anything like this. I think why this movie ended up in my top 10 mainly is because there is a genuine wanting of happiness here, a normalcy that Ryan Reynolds is trying to go for with this character. Just unfortunately being diagnosed with a psychological disorder like that, it's tragic. But at the same time, you see him try, you see him want to do better and have a normal relationship with like Anna Kendrick and Gemma Arterton's character. But when it goes a little kooky and dark, almost like an Adams Family vibe to it, it goes there. And as you can see by the image, yes, Ryan Reynolds' character talks to decapitated heads. I know, but in very much in the same vein of that, it's so over the top and done subtly well. It's just something I had not seen all year in terms of a dark comedy. If you want to check out something a little weird and offsetting, this is definitely the movie to check out, especially in Ryan Reynolds and arguably his best role in quite some time. Alrighty, now we go from the really weird to the really wholesome and sweet and happy and all that other good stuff. My number 6 pick is the Peanuts movie. Seeing Charlie Brown, Snoopy, Linus, Lucy, Sally, Peppermint Patty, and a slew of other amazing characters. Oh my god, it melted my heart just a little bit. I had a smile throughout this entire film. I just got no words other than it was just great to see these wholesome characters on the big screen. And not just in the way of new animation, but they are respected. They're not shat upon like the Smurfs or just a slew of other like I don't know the Chipmunks. These movies, this movie was respected. The source material was handled so well and lending itself to 2D and 3D combo animation. It was just breathtakingly awesome to see in 3D of all things. This was one of the few movies I saw in 3D, and it was amazing. And in regards to the source material, though, especially in the theater, I noticed this. I was laughing more often than the children in the freaking theater, man. And it's crazy but true. The Peanuts have always had that very subtle, mature, very like I don't want to say dark, but they always had that mature content to them. The way they spoke was never, oh, cool lingo, dude. You know, it wasn't like that. It was always very mature and speaking to all audiences of all ages. And I think that's where, again, the source material was respected. And in regards to the character of Charlie Brown himself, of not knowing what to do about meeting a new little, the red-headed girl as they called her in the film, it's such a simple premise, along with Snoopy's background action flick, and it's pretty awesome to see in 3D, by the way. Uh, it's very well done. It's a very small thing in terms of a film, but it works so well. The story is simple, it's wholesome, it's the Peanuts, and I just gained a resurgence of love for these characters once again. Going down to my number 5 spot is Avengers Age of Ultron. It's like people forgot an Avengers movie came out this year. Of course, Star Wars came out. Everyone's talking about it, but we'll get to that later. But with this movie, everyone hated it. And Disney even considered this a bomb. I don't get that. I don't understand how making basically another $1 billion is a bomb. I'm really not sure what they're looking for in a film, but my god, I enjoyed this movie. You got everybody returning back better than ever. I mean, I just love all these people involved here. Whether it's Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Mark Ruffalo, and a slew of other awesome people that are pictured here. We also got new characters. I'll touch on more on them in a second, but seeing their chemistry once again all together on the big screen again was just it just made me happy. This was arguably the best for me in terms of a summer blockbuster this past year. We had some great additions such as Scarlet Witch and Vision as well. Both of these characters are going to be coming back for Civil War this coming year. So I'm really pumped about that. But the one thing that I loved out of this movie, hands down, Ultron, man, James fucking Spader. I his voice alone is what haunted this movie a little bit, and as well as his humor, his very Tony Stark-esque humor, which made a lot of sense because he was the true evil side of Tony Stark, being this quippy asshole that just really wanted to dominate the world. And that's pretty much it. That was, I guess, the only major bummer is that, yeah, same old world domination plans, I guess. But to wrap this up on Avengers, ladies and gentlemen, I feel that, yeah, there was too many high expectations. Even Joss Whedon felt that, and he departed from Marvel, so that says something. But overall, Avengers Age of Ultron was a damn fun popcorn flick, and say what you will about it. Yes, it's got flaws. I'm not ignorant about those. I see them, but it was so much fun to see all these characters, and the novelty did not wear off for me. I enjoyed it. I laughed, I cried, and I cheered on for these Avengers. And number 4 on my list is Trainwreck, starring Amy Schumer and Bill Hader. I just gotta say, everyone hates on the dramedy, and this, of course, was marketed as a flat out, over the top funny comedy, which it is not. We all know, you all should know now. Judd Apatow directs nothing but comedy dramas, and I love those. It's one of my favorite subgenres ever. I enjoy comedy, and this is definitely a comedy drama, but man, did I love I enjoyed this movie. If all romantic comedies were like this one right here, it'd be great. Very much like Don John or 500 Days of Summer and some other movies. I'm losing the name at the moment, but they just have a biting satire to them. You see the awkward moments with the couple that you see in Bill Hader and Amy Schumer's characters. You see them go through that awkwardness stage of a relationship, but there's some honesty and some funny moments to that. And that's awesome for movies like this. And going from awkward, you may see them laugh or you may see them cry in this film. It's honesty and movies that have drama and comedy thrown in the mix together. That's my favorite genre because there's usually a good amount of honest, feel good moments as well as some tough moments you'll see for sure. Like in this film, there are a few tough moments that you see. And Amy Schumer and Bill Hader and the cast do a really great job. And Judd Apatow's direction, really solid as well. And real quickly to go over some of the cast, like Tilda Swinton, borderline unrecognizable to me. I didn't even know that was her. She's really funny as Amy's boss. You got John Cena in a really funny cameo as someone that Amy's character dates, and LeBron James. I'm a Spurs fan till the day I die, but my God, I gotta admit, damn it, he made me laugh a couple times. Number three on my list is Kingsman: The Secret Service. Manners maketh man. I love that line and so many others. This movie was a breath of fresh air. And I know this is based off of a graphic novel, and once again, Matthew Vaughn directing a graphic novel. I'd say it's safe to say this guy needs to make more movies. Every movie he's directed is a hit, and it's just so freaking fun and violent and over the top in the best ways possible. This whole world of the Secret Service is just very intriguing. And Taron Egerton, I hope that kid gets more work, man, because he was just so great as the leading character of this, as well as Colin Firth. Who the fuck thought this guy could be an action star? Matthew Vaughn, I guess, did, and man, did it freaking work. I just this world of suits and badassery, and it knows it's making fun of James Bond films, which is great. It's such great satire of that as well. And while it does play out like a James Bond film, the cast of characters is superb. Michael Caine and I forget the actress's name. She's got swords for legs, but she is badass. She is tough as nails. Quite literally, it looks like. And the main last person I really wanted to talk about here was Jackson, man. The guy looked like he was having a lot of fun in this film as the villain with a lisp, kind of talking like this all the time. It's I don't know how. I don't know how he pulled it off. Just this over the top character, very again, very reminiscent of a James Bond movie, but Samuel L. Jackson made it his own. He clearly had a lot of fun doing this role. I'm just, of course, I don't know very much about the graphic novel itself, but I hope it lends itself to other further stories. We all know, if you've seen the film, you know what happens to Colin Firth's character. But, and let me just say that church scene, by the way, holy shit. One of the most beautifully violent shot things I've ever seen put to film in the recent decade. I'll just say it that way, but it's a must see. It's this high on my list for a reason in terms of its fun, well, self awareness. It's just violent craziness. It's so good, refreshing. It's awesome. Number two on my list, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. If I didn't put this on my list, I would be really stupid. And I'm not even a huge Star Wars fan. I don't recall if I've mentioned it on my channel. I know I've told plenty of friends and family, but I am not a big Star Wars fan. Call me one now, because this movie reignited very much like the what the Peanuts movie did for the comic strips and stuff. This gave me a resurgence of love for the original Star Wars characters. And we got new characters too. We got Poe, the X-Wing fighter pilot guy. We got a rogue stormtrooper, Finn, and then we have our newest Jedi, Rey. And all these three actors were superb choices. Oscar Isaac, John Boyega, the and Daisy Ridley, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. All three, especially Daisy Ridley, superb all around. I cannot wait to see what story unfolds for all three of these characters. I'm very intrigued. And next up, though, I got to talk about the nostalgia within this film. To see Han Solo and Chewbacca yet again on the big screen, it's almost unfathomable. But my God, it brought a smile to my face. Every moment they shared together, Chewie and Han together again, and oh, that made it all the more hard to watch in certain scenes. If you've seen the film by now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But for what I saw, it was just great. It just made me feel happy, and just thinking back to when I saw the originals, it's a lot. And I will be doing a review of this, ladies and gentlemen. I know I've had a few of you ask me, and trust me, a review is coming. So no need to worry about that. I know I've read your comments, and I definitely want to talk about this movie more in depth. And then also to see Princess Leia, by the way, back to the nostalgia stuff. um, Great to see her again as well. Just seeing playing a pivotal role in this movie as well, and just her leading the resistance to fight the bad peoples. It's very, very much a good role for her character now in the Star Wars universe. And going from nostalgic characters, we also got the new bad peoples, Captain Phasma, that other guy in the photo there, and Kylo Ren. holy shit, an intimidating asshole if I ever saw one. But at the same time, he's more than that. He's more than just a bad, evil person. There's depth to this character, and I definitely want to talk about this guy more in length. But Adam Driver did a damn great job. I was just wowed at the fact that how good this character was. The last couple words here, there were some great action scenes. J.J. Abrams' direction was superb, reviving Mission Impossible, Star Trek, now Star Wars, man. Great action scenes, great moments with the feels and whatnot. BB-8 was also really fun, seeing old characters, new characters. I cannot wait to see more. I cannot wait for episode 8 now. And my number one, Inside Out. I've said quite a bit already in my review last year for this movie. This was one of those reviews I really wanted to get out there. And if you want more in-depth stuff, for sure check that out if you like on my channel. But this movie has grown on me even more since the first time I saw it. The literal idea of little characters running your emotions that are themselves emotions, that's just brilliant. But at the same time, I know that's not original because I know of other things that have done similar ideas to this, but my god, I love each one of these characters and I only spent one movie with them. This movie I hope gets a sequel. Don't let this Pixar, if you're listening, don't let this be like Incredibles. Don't let this movie take 10 fucking years to get a sequel. This movie deserves so much more of a world expansion. But to quickly go over the cast themselves, all these awesome people right here on the screen as you're seeing this, holy shit, couldn't have better chemistry on screen together, just with their voices. It's amazing what they were able to accomplish with these characters. It's just great what they were able to do. And this movie, speaking of honesty in regards to my train wreck thoughts, this movie has to be the most honest of all movies this past year when it came to the dramatic situations of losing yourself or losing control of your emotions sometimes, and dealing with family situations like the main character of Riley, the emotions that live inside this girl's head to an extent here. Just those moments were just so well executed and so well fleshed out. Again, hence why I would love to see further expansion upon this character and the little people inside her head there. This movie, it made me have the feels. I cried in this film every time I saw it, and that says something about the true Pixar quality that was done in this film. And perhaps one of the most unique messages: allow yourself to feel sad. That speaks on levels beyond just children, but to adults of my age and up, I I have no words other than that is an amazing message. Out of all the movies I saw this year, I saw nothing close to that, but I don't need it to. The fact that I saw this one movie that gave such a wonderful message is truly just something to treasure.
Hope you all enjoyed all that goodness right there. It was a tough breakdown. Star Wars, Kingsman, Inside Out. Oh my God, there were so many great movies. I already have some of them on Blu-ray, as you can see. I enjoyed this year quite a bit. It was a little bit of a rocky start, but it was some damn good movies this year. So that should do it, though, ladies and gentlemen. My entire top 10 favorite films of 2015. I know it was a long time coming. Finally, this was it. Episode 250 is long and done. Now I can finally move forward to episode 251. Wonder what that would be. I don't know what this is, I don't. That's a quick, obvious clue to my next review for episode 251. Thank you so much for being patient with me, ladies and gentlemen. I know it was a while to get these 3 parts up, but thank you regardless. I will get to more reviews. I will get to more Blu-ray updates, collectible goodness updates, art vlogs of some kind, and so much more. But thank you all so much for a wonderful 2015. You on the other side of the screen watching, you are awesome. Thank you so much for watching in 2015. I hope you'll stick with me through the years to come, in 2016 in particular. Again, I hope you all enjoyed it. Feel free to comment below, like, subscribe, and all that other good stuff in between. I'm Anthony Flores with Worth a Watch, and keep going to the movies.